classroom tonight. I'm Mr. Ruck Dashel. I go by a few different names. Sometimes you'll hear me called Mr. Ruck. I've heard kids call me Mr. Ruck Dash. Some kids don't even call me Mr. And I can handle all of that. I'm also a coach, though. You'll hear some people call me Coach Ruck or Coach Ruck Dashel. Sometimes I definitely just get called Ruck, even by my best friends. It's like I don't have a first name, but that's fine. A couple of things to know about me is that this is my 10th year teaching, and I've taught in Anacortes exclusively. Even my student teaching was here. I kind of got my start in teaching because my mom was a teacher. She taught here for 30 years in Anacortes, and before her mom was a teacher as well, down in Little Stanwood. And so I've been born and raised here my whole life. So Anacortes and the people that are here are super important to me, and that makes me really excited to be able to teach your son or daughter. In addition, I mentioned that I was a coach, and I coach cross country at the high school, and I coach track and field at the high school. I definitely don't look like your stereotypical cross country coach or runner, and I was definitely reminded of that this last weekend. I was at a cross country meet, and I was grabbing food from the coach's tent where we get free food, and the person in line next to me goes, "You're built more like a throws coach. What are you doing here?" And I am actually a throws coach, which was funny, but I do also coach cross country, and we are pretty good. Our girls team was second in state last year, and we had a girl win state too, so we're a pretty good team. In addition to that, I'm also a Young Life leader, and I've been doing that for 6 years now, specifically Young Life leader at the middle school. With that said, as far as other things about who I am, I really value getting to know kids and building relationships with them and getting to learn about them through having fun. I think that it would be difficult for me to get the best out of students if we didn't feel like we had a family atmosphere in here where we felt super safe and super comfortable. And that's always going to be number one, what I try to do and work through in working with your son or daughter. So if you're here for my support class, my ELA support class, the things that you should expect in that class is a lot of reading and writing. And if it's not being assigned from their teacher, then we're going to still work on that in class. First and foremost, we want them to improve and become more confident in their English language arts. Hopefully, I will be able to support them with their assignments from their classes. That should be a time where, with me, we can give them one-on-one time more than they might get in their class to make sure that they're arriving at their English class ready to go. So that might look like planner checks, homework checks, checking their assignments, going through Schoology, really being like an extra pair of eyes for them to look at whatever they need to. Hopefully through that extra accountability factor and being more plugged into the school like I am than most parents would be, and knowing what they should be learning this year, hopefully I can make sure that those students feel like they have a really good shot of doing well in their English support class, or in their English language arts class, because of my support class. There are a couple ways that they can get out of that class, and that was in the syllabus that I passed out earlier this year. For starters, if they're doing super well in the English class that they're in, and I see that they're doing well in my class, we can move them out of that class really at any point. Along those lines, if they feel like this class is not for them, that's good enough for them to be moved out. I don't want someone to be in this class who doesn't feel like it's helping them, or doesn't feel like they want to be in it in general. Another way that someone might be moved out of this class is if they just aren't here very often. Attendance is important for improvement, and I don't want someone just hanging out in this class all year long because they're here half the time. That might mean that they go to all their other classes, but they're always late to mine even. I know it's the first class of the day, but being here, being on time, is part of our Hawk pledge that we were emphasizing this year in respecting learning. For the support class, we don't plan to use Schoology at this point. I will be able to help them on their Schoology, but I'm not going to be posting assignments. So there's no reason for us to really be in that Schoology for the support class at this time. In addition, this is a pass-fail class. We are trying to support them in their other ones, and if someone got to the point of failing, they would already be moved out of the class. If they're passing, then they're either going to be moved out as well, or this is the perfect spot for them, and we want them to continue to be in here so that they can be supported by me and be successful. Finally, you can see my contact information up here on the screen, and I definitely prefer email. That's the best way to get in touch with me. I do check my email sometimes during non-school hours, but I try to keep a good work-life balance. So if I don't get to you because you email me later in the day, I expect that you should see something early the next morning. The final thing is there are some note cards and writing utensils that will be passed out to you, and I'm going to leave you a couple questions here on the screen that I really appreciate if you would respond to, so that I can get to know you and your child just a little bit better. It'll help me serve them this year. So that's my job, is to serve the kids that I have. Okay, thank you, and I hope you have a good rest of your night. Peace.